Okay, what's up? My upload schedule is shit, I know, you don't have to remind me. So today I wanted to talk about a very popular manhwa named Solo Leveling. It's one of the highest rated manhwas out there and people think it's a masterpiece. But if you read the title of today's video, you know what I'm about to say. And it's fucking trash. Now, hold your fucking horses. I have a lot of shit to say before you leave that angry comment of yours. So let's talk about it, shall we? But before that, 97% of you guys are not subscribed to my channel. I'm begging you to subscribe to my channel. Please. And yes, I'm not ashamed for begging, so subscribe to my channel or your balls will drop off. Anyways, Solo Leveling, huh? It's a Korean manhwa that originated in Korea. So, this is a very popular manga or manhwa and it has a pretty big fandom. It might be one of the most copied shit on this planet. Like you literally have a million copies of this manhwa and its premise. It's set in a world where there are gates and there are hunters. There are monsters in these gates and the hunters are supposed to kill them. Hunters are humans who become awakened. Those who have been awakened have more power than normal humans and they have supernatural powers like magic. There are several ranks among the hunters, starting from the weakest E rank and S rank being the strongest. However, one cannot advance their ranks no matter how much they try. So if someone is E rank, they remain E rank forever. Our protagonist is an E rank hunter who is weakest even among the E rank hunters, so he's pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. So one day he decides to go on a raid with a few of his friends. The gate was supposed to be an easy one, but they find another gate within the gate. They go inside that gate because of the possibility of finding high-grade items there, but it turns out that the monsters in the gate was too hard for them to kill. Then our protagonist decides to sacrifice himself to save the others, and once everyone was gone, he was dying due to blood loss. He falls unconscious and wakes up at a hospital, but something was different. He saw a game-like interface in front of him and he could level up his abilities. So that was the plot synopsis. Basically, his special power is that he can grow his strength and level up his powers, and as you might imagine, he gets overpowered in the future chapters. So what do I think about the plot? I think the plot just works. It's nothing special, you might not know, but I read a lot of Korean manhwas, and by a lot I mean a lot of manhwas. So I know a few things here and there about manhwas. In the world of manhwas, these kinds of plots are as common as the shitty days I have, which is every day. It's like the isekai genre in anime, but in this case we get gates and hunters. By the way, isekai is also a norm in Korean manhwas, they're fucking everywhere. Anyways, this is a pretty unoriginal plot and I think the story is average at best. What about the characters, you ask? The characters are bland, they don't have much personality except for saying how cool the protagonist is. They're there just to say, wow, Sung Jin-woo is so cool, no other hunter can do that, or wow, I think he can go on par with insert S rank hunter here, and he wipes the floor with the hunter that they compare him with. Fuck, what the fuck is the script? The only characters I can remember is the blonde waifu and the old man who's the leader of the Hunter Association. The other characters are pretty much there just to praise the god Sung Jin-woo. And before you say the characters are better in the novel, I have fucking read the novel and the characters are bland as ever in the novel. Yeah, there are some interesting characters that are added in the novel, but still most of the characters are bland. They are not memorable. I read the manhwa and every time a character makes an appearance, I think, oh, it's that African American woman who has the power to do something and for some reason she is respected a lot. I guess. So yeah, the characters are not that significant. Okay, so the plot is average, the characters are bland, so why in the bloody hell is it so popular? Am I some idiot who does not know what I am doing? Yes, I am. Or is it the manhwa that's really bad? Well, there's a reason for this manhwa being so popular. First of all, it's art. God damn, it's beautiful. Very few manhwas match the art in Solo Leveling. Each panel is a piece of work. But art can't always save a story. If a shitty story has the best art in the world, it would be called a beautiful poop, but poop nonetheless. But the story in this manhwa can be best described as fun. It's a fun read. It's not some philosophical enlightening story, it's just turn your brain off and have some fun kind of story. It's not boring to read this manhwa. Each chapter is hyped as fuck. It activates the monkey part of my brain. I like it when the MC beats the crap out of monsters that others couldn't touch. It's a self-insert story, to put it bluntly, and for once, the self-insert story is not entirely crap. The problem with self-insert stories like SAO and Isekai Smartphone is that there is nothing noteworthy going on in the story. The story immediately focuses on the main character being as overpowered as possible in as little time as possible. That makes it extremely boring. Both of the anime I mentioned earlier has this problem. In SAO we get a 2-year time skip between 2 fucking episodes, and in Isekai Smartphone he has a fucking contact info of God, so he can call him and ask him for power. They become overpowered for no fucking reason, and being overpowered is pretty boring. The fights feel like shit cause you know that the MC will one-shot the guy anyways, you know how the fights would go, and the story becomes extremely predictable. That makes overpowered characters feel like shit. But let's talk about One Punch Man. Oh, I fucking love One Punch Man. He's also overpowered. I know that he can kill any villain pretty easily, so in theory it should be boring, right? But it's not. It's because all of the fights have build-ups. We see the most powerful characters fight a monster and get defeated. We get hopes that the villain might survive Saitama's power, but in the end Saitama ends up one-punching them anyways. The key here is the build-up. The story establishes that the foe is strong and a force to be reckoned with. We can see that build-up in Solo Leveling in the later chapters, but there is something that makes the fight even better in Solo Leveling. It's the balance of the villains and the protagonist's powers. The villains are not overly weak in any ways. Each fight the main character goes through is a hard-fought battle. His enemies get more powerful as he grows stronger, and that keeps the fights interesting. The fights are not entirely predictable, it keeps the reader on edge. You would constantly think about how he can beat the enemies, the battles would be intense, and the main protagonist would win because of some bullshit logic. Yeah, that's all the good things I can say about it. The fights are fun to watch. The awe of the other hunters when they see Jinwoo's power is satisfying. But some of the early fights in the manhwa did not make any fucking sense. The fights go on something like this. Oh no, I'm injured. I can't move and the enemy overpowers me. Their armor is too strong for me to pierce. What should I do? I will just use my fists to break the armor. Like, who in the fucking world thinks like that? Well, bashing this sword with an enchantment can't break through that armor, then sure my fists will. And the worst thing is, that tactic works. Bruh, the fights don't make any fucking sense, but it's goofy as fuck. But that is the reason I like it. It's fun to read these ridiculous bullshit the protagonist does. So yeah, it's a dumb manhwa and it's definitely not a fucking masterpiece. 6.9 out of 10. Had fun reading.